Chicago White Sox lose to the Minnesota Twins once again by 1 run. Just got home from work to come kick it with the gang. And there you have it. Oh, there we go. White Sox lose to the Minnesota Twins once again by 1 run. Just got home from work, caught the end of the game, was listening to it in the car. And it's yet another game that the Chicago White Sox had in the bag that they just lose again by 1 run. We're going to talk about Chicago White Sox right after the intro.
To the number one place for all Chicago baseball. Let's start the show.
All right. Welcome to another episode of Chicago White Sox Central. I am your host, Big Bro, member of the Chi-Town Sports Network. Hit us up at 773-389-6954 or Chicago Central at gmail.com. Don't forget to find us on all other social media platforms. So I just got home, haven't had the opportunity to put together the highlights from today's games, but if you're here, you already know that the Chicago White Sox lose again to the Minnesota Twins. Minnesota is now on a 9-game winning streak, and 6 of those games have been against the Chicago White Sox. So, man, it was. This is another game that the White Sox looked like they had in the bag, and they just keep finding ways to snatch from the jaws of victory. Go ahead and let us know what y'all think about tonight's game right in the comments section. Keep your boy company. But at the end of the day, man, Chicago White Sox lose another game where they show more fight than they have been showing, more hustle than they have been showing. Even Eloy Jimenez is trying to run out ground balls, and we already know what type of player that he's been in the past in terms of trying to beat out infield hits, running down to first base. But all the hustle and heart in the world doesn't matter when you keep losing by 1 run. It's just baffling at this point now to see a team that has the record that it has, and you just start looking at the many different games that they've lost by 1 or 2 runs. It's in the double digits. That's not even a question. And after their 3-game winning streak versus Tampa Bay, they've lost 2 games to the Minnesota Twins, the Dusty. No, they the musty Minnesota Twins by 1 run, 3-2 last night, and 6-5 tonight. So, it is what it is, man. At this point, as a White Sox fan, we pretty much just come here to vent. They fall to 6-23 at on the season, 5-10 at home. Kopech gets the loss after coming in and just giving 1 inning pitch. 1 hit, 1 earned run, 1 strike, 1 walk. And that walk came back to bite the White Sox in the booty. Jimenez played it Pham. I'm sorry, I keep wanting to call him Pham, but Pham, who's been playing really well since he's come over to the White Sox. DeJong scored as well on an error in the 4th inning. But right in the 5th inning, Minnesota came right back to tie it at 2. Mendick hits a home run in the bottom of the 5th to put the White Sox back ahead. Larnick, Jeffers stole home. I'm glad I didn't see that. He stole home to make it 4-3, and then Correa singled to make it 4-4 in the 8th inning. Then Minnesota took the lead in the 8th inning. But this is what I like about what the White Sox have been doing so far, because it's well documented. Not so far, but lately, it's well documented that they've been shut out so many times this season, and that they haven't been scoring runs much. But right after Minnesota took the lead, Benintendi, who's been on fire lately, his ERA has risen to above 200. Hit a home run to tie the game, but top of the 9th inning, Michael Kopech just couldn't hold on, couldn't command his fastball, leads to a sacrifice fly that puts Minnesota up 6-5. White Sox did get the leadoff man on in the bottom of the 9th, and they did get the next man. Actually, everybody that came to bat got on base, with the exception of the last at bat, which ended up just the White Sox was a strikeout. So the Chicago White Sox lose 6-5 tonight to the musty Minnesota Twins, and it's just no fun being a White Sox fan right now. Because they here are two games that they had a chance to win, and it would they're looking at a 5-game winning streak if they take care of business last night and tonight, and again they fold. They fold. Pedro Grifal, oh man, I just don't know. I just don't know. It would have been nice to see the starting pitcher come out and give us a little bit more. Soraka didn't do much though. 4 in the third innings pitched, 3 hits given up, two earned runs, 2 walks, and a strike, 3 strikeouts. But at only 67 pitches, he was pulled. Tanner Banks came in and immediately gave up a run. And then you had Leon come in and give you a solid inning of work with 2 strikeouts. Wilson also gave you a decent inning with a strikeout. But then Leisure came in and gave up a run. And Barroa came in and got him out of his jam. And then Kopech comes in and gives up another run. And there you have it. The Chicago White Sox pitching staff just didn't really deliver tonight. Not at the rate that they needed to, even though the score was 6-5. You know, the runs that were given up, especially after the 5th inning, the White Sox, the bullpen just has to do better in that situation and lock down the win. ATF, what's up, my guy? He says if the White Sox draft smart, get new management, and move to a new city, they could be half as good as Detroit by the end of the century. Yeah, man. I'm not rooting for the Detroit or the Tennessee, the Tallahassee White Sox. It's just not happening. So White Sox better figure this out. Because right now, man, like I said, we really just come here to vent and discuss disgust. It's I can't even get any of the guys uh who rock with this who are with this channel to come on. Like, who wants to talk about the White Sox right now? The White Sox don't even want to talk about themselves, but the show must go on, man. The grind don't stop. And as a White Sox fan, I think we deserve better. We have deserved better. Jerry Mr. Burns Reinsdorf has been basking in the glow of the last World Series that Ozzie Guillen brought to the city for at least the White Sox for far too long. He's been threatening us with leaving. He's gone on record just talking about how it's not a good business decision to bring in the best players and so on and so forth, and how mediocrity is his desire. That's what he wants to see so that fans can at least come out with like false hope. But at the end of the day, man, regardless of what the owner is saying, the Chicago White Sox players and managers have to perform, and they haven't been performing. They haven't been. They gave us a taste of what it feels like to watch real baseball over the last couple of weeks, honestly, because even without the the sweep of Tampa Bay, which was awesome, they competed against Minnesota with the exception of the first game in that last week's series. They lost 6-5. They lost 7-0, 6-5, 6-3, 6-3. But then today, this week, 3-2 to 6-5. Like, Minnesota is feasting on the Chicago White Sox right now. Now they're 6-0 against the White Sox on the season, and it's just not fun to lose baseball at high rate. But it's also not fun to lose baseball against a division rival, and they just feel good coming into Chicago and taking care of business. So yeah, I mean, it's really not much we can say about the White Sox besides just pointing out all the trash that they keep putting out there for us to consume. The leadoff hitter today, Nicky Lopez, 0 for 4. Pham had another great game, 36 years old, 22 for 5 again, batting 350. Jimenez had a solid game with an RBI, going 1 for 5 today. Gavin Sheets also solid, 2 for 5 today. And Andrew Vaughn coming back and doing okay, trying to creep up to 200 on the season, 2 for 5 for him as well. But Andrew Benintendi with another monster home run, but just pitching didn't uphold him. Mendick had a great game today, 2 for 4 with a home run and 2 RBIs, and he had a double. DeJong 1 for 3. Grossman didn't do anything. Shoemake didn't do anything. Maldonado actually got a hit to improve his his batting average to 100. And then Corey Lee came in and gave us 0 for 1 on a pop up first pitch swinging situation. So the top of the order has been playing a lot better. The bottom of the order still has work to do, but hitting in situations where you gotta score, the White Sox just haven't been able to do that, man. And it's just annoying losing all these one-run games to start the season. So whatever type of false sense of hope that we developed over the weekend, we come crashing right back down to earth and see that this team still has a lot of work to do. Um, it is what it is. White Sox put up a good fight. Like I said, they've been hustling, showing moxie, showing that they have at least a desire to play winning baseball. But we don't do moral victories over here. I'm from the south side of Chicago. Ain't no moral victories. So yeah, there you have it, man. It's not much to talk about besides Mendick showing up in a big way today. Not much really to talk about with the White Sox right now, except for just hey, the losses keep on piling up. 6-23 on the season. All right, so game three tomorrow is early. It's a quick turnaround. The Chicago White Sox first pitch is at 1:10 p.m. Chris Flexen getting back out there today against Bailey Ober, who hasn't really played well. He's 2-1, but his ERA is 4.21. He's given up 20 hits, struck out 25 batters though, walked 7, and giving up 3 home runs. So far this season, Flexen's 1-3 with a 5.11 ERA, 24 in the 2/3 innings pitched, 23 hits given up, 13 strikeouts, and 10 walks. So Eloy Jimenez, Andrew Benintendi, and company are going to have to put on their work hat helmets early, their hard hats early, and get to work because at the very least, you don't want to get swept right after sweeping somebody. The series is already over in terms of who's won the series, but the White Sox have an opportunity to put a win on the board and move on to the next series. Right now in the bottom of the ninth, Houston and Cleveland are tied in Houston. So Houston's going to try to take care of business in the bottom of the ninth. Philly versus LA. Philly's up 3-1 on LA. Atlanta's down 3-0 on Seattle. Cincinnati is down 3-0 on San Diego. Arizona and LA are tied in a delayed top of the first inning game. Oakland and Pittsburgh, it's crazy to think that Oakland is better than the White Sox. Tied at 2. St. Louis and Detroit. St. Louis took care of business, defeating Detroit 2-1. Dusty Detroit Tigers. Baltimore 4-2 win over the Yankees. Hey, the AL East may just be changing of the guard with Baltimore. Colorado loses to Miami in 10 innings, 7-6, and then it was a doubleheader. So Detroit took care of business against St. Louis, 11-6. And then you had Kansas City taking out Toronto 4-1. The Cubs lose to New York 4-2, and you got Boston taking care of San Francisco 4-0. In Minnesota, of course, beat the White Sox 6-5. And then Tampa Bay loses to Milwaukee 8-2. Texas takes care of business versus Washington 7-1 right now. But hey, the Chicago White Sox, hey, another L, just another L for the White Sox. That's what it is. That's what the season we on. Somebody asked me if the next thing to pay attention to with the White Sox is if their win percentage is going to be higher or lower than Andrew Benintendi's batting average. Man, it's crazy. It's crazy. Chris Gilland, is that how you say it? Sloppy showing from both teams. Honestly, yeah. I mean, sometimes you got to win the sloppy games, and I'm pretty sure Minnesota are happy that they took care. Minnesota's happy that they took care of business, win, even though they played sloppy. I believe it was a couple of errors from the White Sox today. Well, they only got they're only showing one error from Minnesota, so I thought the White Sox had some errors. But to allow a man to steal home base, bananas, just bananas. And then we got which one of y'all popping up with this sound? ATF, Detroit always takes care of its business. Only the CIA has prevented Detroit from winning every sports championship since 1955. And what's crazy is I believe that they actually believe that the CIA definitely had the coach of the football team going for it on 4th and 15. That was just silly. That was silly. But all right, y'all. Not much else to say. The Chicago White Sox take a L. tomorrow. They play early, so I'll be at work, but I'll definitely try to do something tomorrow in regard to how the game went. In the meantime, don't forget to rock with the rest of the Chi-Town sports family. Chicago Bulls Central, Bears Central, Sky Central, of course, right here, White Sox and Cubs Central, Blackhawks Central, NBA Central, and then we have the Shot Bulls podcast with the Cognac Boys. Follow the whole family, man. Seek us out on different social media platforms. From White Sox lose another heartbreaker by one. What's going on, Ray Love? I see you, brother. To the doggone musty Minnesota Twins. 6-5 is the final score. 110 is the first pitch tomorrow. And listen, tickets are as low as $2. So if you want to watch some baseball and you got some time to catch a game tomorrow, if you ain't gotta work or if you get off early enough, you can get tickets for $2 to go see the White Sox. Feel like we're in the 1950s or something. It's probably it was probably more expensive back then. All right, I'm gonna holler at you guys later.